Tuesday! Over here!
Welcome back, brother.
It's a robot. You know, like a super advanced robot. It's probably Japanese.
No, no!
I'll drive, you shoot!
You have to get the car. Trust me.
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you.
All right. Hello, and welcome to another Organized Chaos podcast, another experimental show. And it's good to do experimental shows because on this show, we are known for having zero technical difficulties ever. Just ever.
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
kind of amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But you know, we got three just amazing movies to talk about this week. Just
We're about as
absolutely
reliable.
amazing.
Yeah, we are as reliable as a DeLorean.
Yeah, no, we got Little Mermaid, which is up for now. I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. We're pulling individual footage anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about Little Mermaid live action Disney remake, those are always just the best movies ever. We're looking at Mission Impossible 3, and we're looking at 2007's Transformers.
Well, the live action remakes of Disney. The live action Disneys have an interesting track record, I think.
Yeah.
Like they didn't start strong, and they've continued in that suit by far.
Yeah.
I think the only ones in my opinion, I think were all right. Were probably Jungle Book.
Yeah, I like Jungle Book.
And yeah, I think that's about it.
Like, I remember thinking Aladdin was fine when watching it,
Yeah,
but
Aladdin.
like
Aladdin was okay.
I can't remember much about it. Yeah.
The main thing that I remember is that right at the beginning when they're doing the theme song, DJ Khaled says DJ Khaled.
Yes. It was very important. It really set you in the Aladdin tone, I think.
DJ Khaled exists
DJ
in
Khaled!
the Aladdin universe.
I actually forgot all about that until just now. Thanks for that.
Well, that's the thing.
Oh.
Like, I remember like thinking it's fine, but like it's not. I haven't seen it since it came out. That was pre-pandemic, so it's been a while.
Yeah, there's kind of a big fog of just all the stuff that came out during that year of 2020. Even the direct-to-video thing. Actually, so this just popped up on my Amazon Prime watch, or just new to Amazon Prime. It's a movie about Trump, where it's a CGI Trump, and I think he fights like aliens. It's Trump versus aliens.
Oh, that sounds important.
I don't know. It was free with Prime, so I mean, I was a little tempted, but I mean, I was kind of hard pressed on that 91 minutes of my life. Like I think I valued it a little too high.
That is a decent ask.
That is yeah.
Well, are we ready to dive into Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
All right, let's bring this up at appropriate time. Yes, The Little Mermaid, Disney's live action. So I told Bobby he didn't have to see this because I feel like there's plenty of middle-aged white guys screaming about this already. But my daughter is here.
Hi.
She's probably a couple years older than, what would the target audience would be, but like much closer. So what are your thoughts, Ashley?
Well, you see, I didn't have a bad time, but I think that's because I kind of accepted that it was probably going to be meh, and I like The Little Mermaid, so I just kind of went along with it, But, like, I really wasn't, like, it didn't bring anything new to the table, it's just, if you like The Little Mermaid, and you just want to watch The Little Mermaid, then you're gonna have a good time. But, like, it's not really, like, a particularly good movie, though. Halle Bailey was very cool. She did a lot. She has a very nice voice. She did a very good job, I felt. But the movie in general, it was a Disney live action remake.
True.
Yes.
Well, I mean, listen, I put this on the agenda because there's a group of people who look like me who are screaming about this movie for the past few months, and it's like, fuck, this is probably gonna be decent for the algorithm, but like I don't care. Like I just like I can't tell you a movie that is like not made for my age group, and yet these are the people who are screaming about it. I'm not excited for it.
There are movies for like about our age group, but like that we are not
absolutely.
their target audience. We are not the target audience.
Yeah. No, not at all. No, it's
no.
No, like I don't
But
like, and
like I'm
obvious.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, obviously they're yelling, and obviously most of the yells are because Halle Bailey is black, and Ariel wasn't black in the '89 version, and I kind of don't care because, like, listen, I'll be blunt, I didn't enjoy this movie. But it's also not made for me. Just not great. But like I thought Halle Bailey fucking nailed the singing voice. Like she was on top of it. I thought acting she was fine, and like the singing voice was like perfect, like pristine.
Well, I mean, with the character Ariel, like when she has her legs, she has no voice at that. So at that point, I'm sure it's just up to her to emote with her face. So was she able to do that well and convey feeling and whatever she needed for the scene?
Well, actually, they do. She does do a good job there, but also it's worth noting, like they did some non-diegetic singing stuff during that too, where like she's singing, but it's like it's not like part of the movie.
It's like in her head. It's
yeah.
Right. Okay. Well,
so
when I first saw the trailer
as well.
Well, when I first saw this trailer and it just had that little snippet of her just singing that like one line of the song and it's like the ending of it, my first thought was, oh, that's why she was cast. Oh, she has a wonderful voice. That's why she was cast. Cool. Whatever at that point.
When you hear her sing part of this world, it's like, oh, that's why she was cast. Like it's like you're not going to get better than that. I have listened to the
soundtrack. Like I went through and listened to some of the songs on the soundtrack because I heard someone going on about on the radio talking about the number that Awkwafina had done about like birds pooping on people or something like that.
She did do a goofy
movie
one.
or something.
They did
like
do one.
Goofy song,
I want to say it was Sebastian.
Yeah, and I listened to it and I was like, okay, I really don't hear anything wrong with this. This is literally just Awkwafina being Awkwafina. Like,
like what do you expect from Awkwafina singing a song?
I mean, I like this is like her toned down for Disney. Like I've heard much raunchier from her, but it was nothing. Sure. But while I was there, I did listen to Part of Your World, and I was just wow, like holy crap, girl, like blown away. And again, just more like that's why she was cast. All right, Disney is actually casting people who can sing for these parts, and that's something that I felt really hurt some of their past entries, like Beauty and the Beast, for example.
Yeah. Well, I actually did enjoy this more than Beauty and the Beast, even though, like, I wasn't thrilled by this at all. Like, this suffers from a lot of the same issues of Beauty and the Beast, where it's too much of a copy paste. I feel like I'm just watching the same things over and over again. I would say if there's any difference, I would say pull this one up. I would say the cast overall does a better job here.
Yes.
Because I like Ariel. I like Halle Bailey. I don't know who played Eric. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah,
I thought
me
they
too.
have a good chemistry.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. They worked really well together.
Mm-hmm. I thought Melissa
Okay.
McCarthy did a good job as Ursula. And Javier Bardem kind of did his own take on Triton. Like, he wasn't as, like, he definitely had the same opinions, but he was, like, more toned down in his approach than in the animated version, which was just
Delivery was
super
different.
animated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well,
like,
okay.
he was obviously pissed, but, like, not like I'm screaming at you pissed stuff.
Yeah, he had like the quiet anger. You know?
Yeah.
And then he burns all of her stuff down. But,
Yeah, then he burns it down. Yeah. But yeah,
Gotcha.
overall, I thought the cast did a good job. And I'd say that what gives it the edge over Beauty and the Beast. And that's about it.
Okay.
I wasn't thrilled, but like I said, Ashlene enjoyed it. She's much closer to the demographic this movie is actually shooting for. So, yeah.
Yeah. I know that it wasn't a particularly good movie. I'm pretty sure the reasons that I enjoyed it were A, they had a pretty decent amount of good people in the cast.
Mm-hmm.
And B, I like The Little Mermaid. I like the Hans Christian Andersen version. The movie's fun. And honestly, I was just kind of prepared for it to not be very good. So I was just kind of looking forward for, The Little Mermaid. And I got The Little Mermaid.
So, I mean, were you offended at the
Awesome.
idea of black mermaids?
No. I mermaids... You see... I think a lot of people are coming for that because, like, Hans Christian Andersen was Danish. But, like, first of all, do you really think that all of the white people that they cast to live in that area were all 100% Danish? Because
Yes.
I don't think that they were.
Yes, they
And
were.
number two, it's a mermaid. She could be bright purple. I don't care. I don't know how that works.
I mean, Javier Bardem is very Danish, can't you tell?
The most Danish man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa McCarthy's very Danish as well. You can tell, just look at her.
Well, she's very Danish.
Yes, everybody's Danish
Yes.
except for Halle
Very
Bailey.
Danish.
Well, do you think it was disrespectful to mermaid culture to do that?
No. No.
Mermaids have a rich culture, Ashlene.
I mean, there's been a lot of mermaids over the years that I've seen in movies, and they've been a wide span of colors. I don't think that this was the most out there.
Are you sure?
No. I mean, yes, I am sure.
Yeah.
I know how to talk.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, I didn't really enjoy it. Ashlene enjoyed it. She's more the demographic. Neither one of us thought it was great, but But
You watch it for dumb fun.
yeah. If you really want to, like, if you're a
If you
huge,
like
I would
The
say
Little
it sounds
Mermaid.
like if you're a huge fan of The Little Mermaid and you're just cool of seeing a variation on that, there's a movie for you.
Yeah. I don't even really consider myself to be a huge fan of The Little Mermaid, but I don't know. If you really want to
Okay.
see The Little Mermaid, though, and, like, you like The Little Mermaid, then going to this movie, while it may, be a little bit more of your money spent than it would be to just, watch, like, the 89 version movie at home,
Mm-hmm.
if that's what you want to do and you're interested in hearing Halle Bailey sing, because I mean, she has a gorgeous voice and I think that it's worth hearing if you really want to hear it, I think it's worth your time if that's what you want, but, like, don't go into it expecting, like, some high class masterpiece. Just go into it because you want to watch The Little Mermaid and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's a Disney live action remake. Although I think it's weird even calling them live action remakes because that's what the names kind of become for them. But, like, half of them are, like, barely live action.
I don't know who in Disney thinks that children want to see, like, hyper realistic CGI animals. That's not fun.
I definitely do.
No.
That's all I
No.
want to see.
I still remember just looking at, like,
I hate when my
those
characters
promotional
emote.
pictures for, like, Sebastian, and I'm like, what did they do to him? You're hurting him.
That is true. Sebastian and Flounder are interesting looking here.
I just remember seeing, like, his
Yeah.
eyes in the
Mhm.
photo, and it's like, what? Don't do it to him. You're hurting him.
Mhm.
He's in pain.
Yeah. It's sad. Well, is there anything you want to add? Or are we ready to move on?
If you want to see The Little Mermaid
Mhm.
and you want to hear some nice singing, then this is worth your time. If you don't want to see The Little Mermaid, if you are not of the age demographic, or if you are for some reason angry about mermaid culture, then don't watch it.
That sounds reasonable to me. Let's see. We're going on Mission
Fair.
Impossible 3. Do you want to sit in or you want to duck out?
I mean, I can hang. I just might be sitting over here like
Oh, okay. Well, you saw a lot of Transform. Well, you sat there for a lot.
I sat there and I didn't pay a lot of attention, and then every now and then I would be like, "Oh, what are they doing?" And then every now and then I'd be like, what? Okay."
I have to tell you, paying attention to that movie is kind of a full-time job. We'll get to it when we get to it,
We-
because
we-
the next
we-
movie
we had to
is
pay-
Mission Impossible 3.
We had to pay attention to Transformers.
I don't blame you for not, because it's tough. Okay, so Mission Impossible 3 was definitely...
Oh.
This is not my favorite Mission Impossible movie by a huge margin, but
Yeah,
it was the best
this
movie
was
this week for
interesting.
me.
Yeah, this one was interesting. It really
Yeah.
was. Yeah. This definitely was a change of pace from 1 and 2. Like,
Yeah, this is like Ethan trying to retire. I think when they put this together, the idea was that this would be the last one and complete a trilogy, which, yeah, that didn't work as planned. But
no.
I will say, one thing I forgot about with this movie was Philip Seymour Hoffman, fucking great villain here. I love him in this movie.
I had forgotten that he was in this up until like those that opening scene. I was like, "Oh, that's right. Oh,
Yeah.
hell yes. Okay. Maybe this won't suck."
Mhm. But yeah, no, I overall enjoy this one. It's not one of my favorites. I would say of the trilogy, it's my second favorite, behind the first
Yeah.
one. But
Yeah.
second one was kind of rough. So yeah, there's
Yeah,
not
this
huge
one's not as
range
rough as
in
the
the first
second.
three.
Yeah, this one's not as rough as the second one was. That one was that was a chore to get through.
Yeah. Well, we got chores coming up next. We got.
Oh, I bet. I kind of enjoyed that premise of him just trying, like, wanting to settle down, wanting to be out of the game, but he got pulled into something, and I kind of liked that idea of it, because I do remember this wanting it to be wound down. But man, they did a great job with Philip Seymour Hoffman, though. He was just so evil. I was very pleased every time he was on in the movie. It was like, oh yeah, this is great.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, no, he, like, the way he plays it is like, it's like over the top, but like nuanced over the top. It's like, it's interesting. It's like downplayed over the top. Like, almost every line he's saying is something incredibly evil, but it's like all super like downplayed.
Yeah.
It's like brilliant how he does it. I love it. He is definitely the highlight for me in this movie. Although, like, overall, this is better than the second one for no other reason than, like, you actually get a little bit of time with each member of the team and actually, like, recognize them to a degree, and they get little personalities at least. It's not huge. Like, Maggie Q and the other guy, the guy from Tutors, Jonathan Rhys Meyers, I want to say his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get a whole lot with him, but, like, it's way better than that fourth guy in the second one who was, like, literally just there to have an accent.
Just to be the helicopter pilot, and that's it.
Yeah. And, of course, you get more Ving Rhames, which is great. And you get the first appearance of Simon Pegg's Benji.
And Larry Fishburne.
And he really doesn't have a huge role here. No.
This is the first time we see Larry Fishburne, too.
Well, does he come back? I'm trying to remember.
I think he does. Maybe. I don't know.
He might, yeah. Yeah, you get Lawrence Fishburne and Billy
He was
Crudup
getting
as,
orders
like,
from Anthony
his
Hopkins
bosses.
in the last movie, so, I mean, maybe that's a role that just, like, changes every film.
Yeah. whoever is the head of IMF seems to frequently change in pretty much every movie. Because, it was the one guy who I think is coming back in the 7th one, so it's all over the place. And then
Henry Cesar?
Anthony Hopkins, Lawrence Fishburne. That sounds right.
Who, Kittredge? That guy from the first one?
Yeah, Kittredge, yeah.
Yeah, Henry Cesar, I think.
Yeah, okay, that sounds
Scream
right.
6.
I know he's in the new one, too.
Yeah, he was in Scream 6. I remember, yeah. Was he? Maybe. I know I saw... Yeah, he was. He was the shrink.
Who was he in Scream 6?
He was the shrink who saw Tara. He got fucking knifed in the face. Through, the gates of his door.
Shit.
He was like second kill. Yeah.
Shit. Damn.
Yeah, fourth kill. Because the opening.
Yeah. That opening was wild.
That opening was wild. Mission Impossible 3, though. I did kind of like it, but I also kind of didn't like how, they told us what was it? It was the God's Eye, right? Or am I getting the movie confused?
God's Eye is Fast and Furious.
That's right.
What is it
What
here?
is this?
Rabbit's Foot. It's a rabbit's foot.
Rabbit's Foot, yeah. I knew it was something like that.
Well, I don't think they ever actually define exactly what the rabbit's foot is. It's literally just MacGuffin thereafter.
They just kind of said what the power it held, which I like that. I remember Philip Seymour Hoffman saying it's the thing that could topple world governments across the globe at once. And it's like, oh,
yeah,
that sounds so evil.
Don't worry about it.
No, yeah. Something in the junk drawer.
This one didn't thrill me, but it's not bad. I like the idea that this is Ethan, and I thought it was interesting being this is the retired Ethan. He found somebody he wants to hook up with. He's getting married, and of course he's getting dragged back into the job because his old student got captured. And I have to say, her death was kind of freaky.
That was
just having that bomb and then just almost saving her, and all of a sudden you just see her face go dead, and it's whoa, shit.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah. But overall, this is what I'll say over the second one. This one has a clear-cut story that you can follow. Although, it's not that the second one doesn't have a story you can't follow. It's just I don't care that much. And the second one did the thing with the mask where it's always switching who's what character, and it got to a point where I was also not really caring who's what's character.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't do the mask nearly as much. We get one noteworthy mask scene, and that's about it. So they can fake Philip Seymour Hoffman's death. We actually see them make the mask, and I don't believe it. I don't.
Yeah, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's assistant, who was meant to look like his wife, Tom Cruise's wife.
That's right. Yeah. So you can execute.
I'll say this though, I've noticed something after these three, and from what I understand from watching various trailers of this series is, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be one amazing thing that Tom Cruise does in every one of these movies. The first one was him propelling down and almost smacking the floor. Two, I'd have to say, would probably be the cliff hanging, climbing.
Yeah, it has to be that. And they did a good job shooting that. I feel in the second one, the one they wanted it to be was when he did that quick dive into that building. That looked so goddamn fake. If that really happened, then they fucked up shooting it because it looked so fake. Yeah, it looks so green screen.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. But if that actually did happen, man, they need to fix their frame rate. That looked bad. But this one, I definitely will say it was it was the building, the thing that he did with the building.
Oh yeah,
falling off the building and
towards the end. Yeah. Well, when we get to the next one, it'll be that thing, but more.
Well, yeah, and I feel like that will be something continuing throughout this series, since it seems to be a trend. Tom Cruise trying to kill himself.
Yeah, no, it definitely really starts to... I think it was they do stuff like that, but I feel it's the next one where it really starts taking off, where everyone, there's some sort of event where like it's like, yeah, this is Tom Cruise trying to kill himself. Because I don't know how much the cliff stuff was him. It looked good though.
It looked good, yeah.
Yeah. It's too bad the rest of the movie didn't look that good. Because like actually seeing him do the cliff stuff, there was times where I felt a little vertigo with some of the stuff he was doing. It's like, man, too bad this is just him like relaxing instead of actually like putting tension to this scene in any way.
Yeah, he's just doing this to clear his mind.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a decent one. I enjoy this. Anything you want to add before we go into Transformers?
No. Let's bring on this one.
Let's bring on the pain.
Yeah.
Fuck this movie.
It's hard, isn't it?
No, like I remember, like so George was on the podcast last week. He'll be on next week. But we heard everybody talk about how good this movie was, so we were excited to watch it. So we went out and we watched it, and we left, and we were just like, that was garbage, wasn't it? And we were just like, yep, that sucked. And then so returning to watch it, I was like, maybe it'll be better than I remember. Maybe I was being too critical back then. Maybe it'll be like, all right. No, this sucks. No,
somebody oversold this to me.
Yeah, no, people were overselling the crap out of this, and I don't know why. Because this is... Listen, I remember just having a headache watching Transformers last night, and the last night. And that was worse than this, but a lot of the same things that ruined the last night are in this as well. I think the biggest thing I'll point out is that every single character here is a cartoon character, and not good cartoon character, just like this weird, wacky. This whole universe is like this weird, wacky thing where everybody's fucking weird, and
except for his
you don't
dad.
have a
He was
straight
hilarious.
Man.
Except for his dad, he was hilarious.
That's the thing. I feel like was Sam supposed to be the straight man? Because he wasn't, and maybe Michaela was a straight man, but Megan Fox didn't carry it and wasn't important enough to the story anyway.
Oh, that's right. She was in this.
Yeah. She was the eye candy. No, she was the eye candy, and they did stuff with her in the story, but
yeah, I'm curious. How old was she when she made this movie?
Mm-hmm.
How old was she when this came out, or when this was made?
Oh, I think both her and Shia LaBeouf were 86, and this was 2007, so they were both 21.
Okay.
The scene where she's looking at the car? That made me angry to no end. This is Transformers. I want to look at the car.
yeah, and he's just staring at her. Well, I understand he's a teenage boy, but it's
this is Transformers, though, and the car just did something weird.
Well, true, and it's I feel like what you could do in that is maybe do a thing where yeah, of course he's attracted because it's Megan Fox and she's hot, but maybe do a thing where Sam gets to know her, and then there's actually real chemistry between them. Instead, it really just plays off as oh yeah, she's the hot chick, and we're going to do adventures together, and then hook up in the end. It's
yeah,
well,
it really felt
this is a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
This is a Michael Bay movie, if I'm not mistaken, right?
True.
Yeah. So there you go. It's one of the many problems I have with Michael Bay.
Yeah,
one of the many problems I have.
I was not watching very closely. I was kind of not paying attention for the most part. But yes.
That's the best way to watch it.
Yes, exactly. I was kind of looking at it out of the corner of my eye the whole time, And yeah, I do have to say, the whole thing with Megan Fox's character, her name was Michaela, right? Is what you said?
Yes,
okay, right,
Michaela,
yeah.
yes.
But I didn't really remember anybody's names. Every now and then I'd be like, oh, that dude. Oh, it's Megan Fox. That dude.
Man,
Optimus Prime. And I did notice that it just sort of seemed to be oh, she's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Guess we're together now.
That's her character too.
Yeah, she's pretty, but she works on cars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What were you gonna say, Bobby? Mm.
So I realize this. I think right now we have a reigning champion for an actor who has appeared on the show consecutively week after week.
Ooh, who are you thinking of?
Tyrese Gibson.
True. Well, I mean, with all the Fast movies and then this, because I forgot he was in this.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, dude, do you just like Tyrese? Like, it's cool if you like Tyrese. And I mean, I've just noticed it's cool if you like him. I've noticed. It's like, your favorite actor? I mean, he's funny, yeah.
Oh yeah, my all-time favorite actor. No, I actually forgot he was in this, and I was like, oh, is Roman in this one too?
Roman, what are you doing? What are you doing in the army?
Yeah, I didn't know you would fit there. Okay, I mean, you do you, man.
Yeah, it's like they make you do stuff, right? like run, like a lot.
It's fine. It's fine.
No,
the closest we get to a straight man was maybe the Josh Duhamel character, who I can't even think of his name.
No, maybe him, but like,
yeah, he's barely in the movie.
Where does Mark Wahlberg eventually fit into this movie? Is really what I want to know. Yeah, you're right. He kind of disappeared. I hope he reunited with his wife and kid. I mean, that they emphasized that so early in the movie. I hope they did.
Well, I think we see that very briefly in the end. By that time, I kind of don't care though, too. Well,
that's good because pretty much in the movie, he's one of the only ones I kind of really cared about. The whole army battalion was like, they were the only ones I cared about.
That's the thing. Like, I was watching the beginning, and I was like, "Oh, well, maybe this will be better than I remember." Because it's a little manic, the directing, but we're setting up the Josh Duhamel character. He's got a wife, and he's got a kid. I kind of want to see him get to his kid, and then the first action scene happens. It's like, okay, that's a bit much, but okay. And then pretty much when we got to Sam Witwicky, I instantly disliked him. I was like, oh, I'm not going to enjoy this, am I? Like, not at all.
I have a bit of a confession to make. I did watch this. I did. But I did watch a Riff Tracks version of it instead. Because I
have the Riff Tracks of this, yes. It's much more entertaining.
Yes, it is far more entertaining. I particularly like the bit where they were trying to the car fixed itself and he was going back after Megan Fox. And he was like, oh, he should have used his line, Shia is your Gaia. That's part of that whole viewing experience right there.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah, I was never a fan of Transformers growing up. It just wasn't really my thing. I just couldn't get into it. So when this originally came out, I kind of just was like, oh, great. They're turning another property that I know from my childhood into a, CGI monstrosity. Great. Let's see how I don't have a lot of high hopes for this, mostly just because of Michael Bay. And when somebody finally convinced me, this is like when it was out on home video, so I didn't go to a theater or anything when I finally watched it. I just watched it at my friend's house. Yeah, he oversold it. I thought it was bad, and even after all these years rewatching it, it was just again like. Walt's dad, Sam's dad made me laugh. But that actor always does I enjoy him. He's always funny. But yeah, Shia was still kind of honing his craft, I guess, at this point. Mm-hmm. He was still doing the even Steven thing.
Yeah, I know. Like, Shia LaBeouf, I'm not gonna, he's definitely done some weird fucking shit. That being said, he's a decent actor.
Yeah.
Here in a few weeks, we're going to get to Crystal Skull. And god damn, I have lots of issues with Crystal Skull. It doesn't really have anything to do with Shia LaBeouf, though, in that movie.
Yeah, actually, that's fine. Yeah, he's kind of okay. That is that's not even the tip of the iceberg for my problems with Crystal Skull. Not even.
Yeah, and mine's kind of we will get into that in a few weeks. But
mine's kind of a major complaint with it.
Yeah, no, like I said, we'll get to it in a few weeks. But he as I recall, I thought he kind of works with Indy here. But he doesn't work here.
I felt with this movie, it was every now and then I'd look up and I'd start laughing, and I found it funny, but I could never tell if it was done on purpose.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense. Boy jewelry on a girl dog.
Yeah,
high class art.
Yeah. No, the Transformers wrecked that yard, and it had it coming.
How upset his dad was about people walking on his grass.
I know, that was
hilarious.
weird.
I thought that was so funny. Just
Yeah.
It's
oh
your
god.
son.
Mm.
That's
The
why I
grass will be
built the
fine,
path,
man.
so you could walk on. Know how he kept saying "my path" in my grass.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, he's such a dick. I'm kind of loving this.
Yeah.
How
It's,
he even pulled into the Porsche lot. It's like, even though I've seen it and I know that bit was coming, even the first time I watched it, I did laugh at that. I thought that was funny.
Mhm.
It's like, no, you take him to the piece of crap lot across the street. Yep.
Yeah.
I also kind of hated the change they made with Bumblebee and upgraded it to the new Corvette just for the car porn scene with it pulling up and everyone after that.
Oh, yeah, him up. Yeah,
just
instead of being
appreciated
kind
the
of
original look.
POS. Yeah.
And yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, I kind of like appreciated that look of it, but then again, the original Bumblebee was just a little Volkswagen, if I'm not mistaken.
He was a Bug. Yeah, he was a Volkswagen Bug,
yeah.
which they couldn't do in this era because the Bug has become like this, like almost like because everybody had it back in the day because it was a cheap car. It became kind of like a prestige car now because everybody wanted one because everybody had one back in the day. So now it's like the expensive car, so that they couldn't do that because that was the whole point. Bumblebee was just supposed to be kind of a just like the almost kind of the dumpy car. It was almost part of his charm.
He should be a dumpy car.
Yes, he should be a dumpy car.
That's
I agree.
who Bumblebee is.
Yes, because
He's just-
That's what gave
Bumblebee's
Herbie the
awesome. I want
charm.
to make that clear.
Yeah.
Well,
Bumblebee is probably my
it's
favorite
just-
character in this movie.
I don't see why he was lubricating on people though. I'm
That was
sorry,
annoying. Yeah, that was the worst thing he
lubricating.
did. Yeah, I was just like,
Oh yeah, the dog
Well,
peeing on the Transformer. That was funny because it's a dog.
well,
It's a dog.
like, I think we need to take a moment and talk about all the actors who are wasting their talent in this movie because it's like there's
why are
a
you
decent
here?
fucking cast list in this damn thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, we already brought up Shia LaBeouf, but like this is early on, so I don't know if I'd quite count him. But like, he definitely showed he's a good actor later on. But
he
yeah,
played his
like
dad.
late, yeah, Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn.
Honestly,
that's his name?
here's what I'll give Kevin Dunn. I think he was fine for the role. Of all the characters here, I'm kind of cool with what they did with him. Like, I think he need a better movie around him. But late in the movie, we get John Turturro, and he just
Yeah,
annoys
that's
me.
right. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
so late in the movie.
yeah. I kind of felt like he wandered onto the wrong set and then into scene, and they just let him do whatever. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah, and
you're in the wrong
listen,
movie.
man, John
John.
Turturro's a
Like,
great actor, but maybe, I don't know, give him a character that isn't awful. I don't know. Who else? You get, I guess, John Voight's kind of forgettable in this. I guess he's fine. Like, he's basically the president ad litem. He's not the president, but like he's serving as the president in this movie.
no, we get to see the commander in chief. We get to see his socks and
Well, we get to see his sock briefly.
very, very terrible Bush impersonation.
Yeah, no, I heard that voice. I was like, oh yeah, this would have been during Bush, right? God, why does
that's
that feel so
right.
long ago too? That feels really long
Good.
ago. I mean,
I do not
Well,
know.
yeah. As soon as
yeah, that was you weren't born yet. You weren't born yet.
No, that was W.
Mm-hmm. I guess actually you were born when W was
I
president.
was thinking, wasn't it like I was there for we were both there for like a couple months.
Well, Evan wasn't, but like you were a couple months old when Obama took office.
A couple month overlap. I should
So,
remember.
Probably like 7 months old. I want to say, is that right? No, 9. 9 months old.
Well, 9 months, that's quite a lot of time. I don't see why I don't remember him. I'm
Yeah,
a terrible memory.
obviously, yeah. Bush would have been
Don't
prominent.
worry.
In your mind.
He's just the idiot son of a real jerk. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good old Junior. Good old. But yeah, I guess John Voight's fine here, although he does go insane later in life. So hey.
Oh, John Voight's insane now? You don't say.
Mhm. Yeah. A certain president did that to a lot of people.
Shame.
Let's see. Anthony Anderson was semi-known when he did this, and he's just a goofy character here. And, like,
Well,
I enjoy him typically, but yeah.
Definitely when he was being typecast as that goofy character.
Yeah.
Because I know there was a while where he was a little typecast as that, but I'm happy he's been able to break out because he has some range. He's good.
Yes, he has some great range. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he came back for Law and Order when they brought that series back, and yeah, he does a good job on there. And there, he just plays a detective there. He's not some goofy character like you like here.
No, he definitely got to start in comedies, but like, yeah, he has some chops.
Let's see. I know there's a few other ones that are noteworthy. Let's take up these cast list real fast. Let's see. Oh yeah, Tyrese Gibson is in this.
Told you. I told you Roman's in this.
No way.
Tyrese Gibson?
No, I guess those are the big noteworthy characters. Okay. But, yeah. And, god damn it. Like, watching this, I'm like, yeah, I don't remember if Megan Fox ever actually, like, gets decent at acting, but, like, she was just a nothing in this. Like, ugh.
Like,
she was obviously cast because she's a wonderful talent on the screen. That's Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes.
That's also why she got the part in Jennifer's Body too.
Sure. Yeah, this is such a Michael Bay movie, and like I don't think he was a good choice for a Transformers movie. And
he took the reins with this 5 and ran. Yeah.
Well, he takes more of the reins later on too.
There's one part that stood out to me, and it was like during one of the big destruction scenes where there's somebody running on a cell phone, saying this is way more crazy than Armageddon, man, by far. And he was like perfectly in shot, and that whole line was delivered clearly. But what I found interesting about that little part during the sequence was there were several shots that were very similar, but the camera was shaky and you could barely make out what it is. Also, yeah, the editing in this was atrocious at times, especially when like the bots were fighting. Oh my God, I had a hard time telling who was who.
Oh yeah, like I can't believe I almost let this go. Like they introduced us, and there's 4 main Transformers. It's 4, right? Or is there 5?
I think it was 5. Didn't one kind of switch sides?
There's 5 main Transformers
for no reason.
But like there's Jazz, who's introduced as the first lieutenant, and like he is killed off so unceremoniously. It's like, what's the point of his character? Like it's like we don't even see anything of him. And then, like, Megatron just casually tears him in half, and that's it. He's dead. And I'm like, what was the point of that? Like, if you're going to kill him off, at least, like, have it, like, raise the tension. Like, be like, oh, no. Like, he's killed so casually, I'm not even sure in the moment that, like, it's actually supposed to be any sort of permanent death until they bring it up at the end. And, yeah, you brought up the editing, and I don't even know, like, I don't know if Michael Bay edits these or if just how he directs the editors. I assume it's how he directs the editors. But like all his movies, all his Transformers movies especially, are fucking cut like this. And it's
what I think is he probably just takes 2 of his like Transformer toys and just kind of does this and tells the team to figure it out.
Put it together like this.
And they just go.
No, it's. Like this isn't as bad as Last Night, but like there are definitely scenes in here that are headache-inducing, and to a degree, again, not as bad as Last Night. A lot of this will be shot like an action scene, like the conversations like an action scene. Like part of the issue of how this is put together isn't so much like that there's manic scenes; it's that almost all of it is done manically. And
yeah, Michael Bay does love his Dutch angle.
Like, you cannot be going like 100% manic all the way. Like, I guess you can, but you have to be very specific with how you're doing the movie. You have to do that with intent. And fucking Michael Bay, like, I swear to God, doesn't understand intent whatsoever. Because, like, everything is just insane. And, like, he doesn't care. I swear to God.
No.
It's like, why are you directing this so insanely? Because I can. But yeah, my final thought is I think this is a 10 out of 10 perfect movie. Beautiful. Take your friends to see it.
It's fun if you're like not really watching it.
No.
So every now and then you'll just like catch on to it when like they're doing something like absolutely ridiculous, and then you can pretend it was like a funny comedy.
There you go. But then you realize
That's
2
what I
hours and 20
did.
minutes of your life are gone. And then you're
this
sad
did not
again.
feel like a 2-hour movie. It did not feel like it. I will give it that. But it did. Oh,
Felt like
yeah,
a 3-hour
there's
movie to me.
yeah. There were a lot of stuff. There's some stuff in here that kind of just reminded me. Was this the one that people claim that they ripped off for Age of Ultron? Was this the one?
I don't
that
remember.
they ripped off. There was one of the Transformers movies I know that that people have claimed that they ripped off the plot for Age of Ultron. The Allspark.
I don't remember. I will say I think Age of Ultron is better than all the Transformers movies except for probably Bumblebee.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if they did, they only improved it. But yeah, this is just bad. Like I don't like any of the Michael Bay Transformers movies at all. And this one didn't change my opinion. A rewatch didn't help. I guess any final thoughts before we go to sign out?
No, this was
all right.
I'm excited for the rest.
Yeah. Well, we are not going to watch as many of these. And I after watching this, I'm kind of happy about that.
Oh, that's good.
But let's see. So what do we got next week? Oh yeah, I know next week is Across the Spider-Verse, and I am excited to watch that one.
Me too.
That should be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And we also got Temple of Doom, and then Bumblebee will be next week. And
Okay.
Bumblebee was the good one, as I remember correctly. So yeah, that's coming up next week. So yeah, I guess time to sign out. So everyone have a
and
good
next
one.
Good one.
take care.
Oh, go ahead, Bobby.
Oh, I was gonna say next week I'll also give a breakdown of Les Claypool's Fearless Flying Frog Brigade.
Yay!
Yay.
Why'd I already freeze frame?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Time to hit stop. We're frozen, Ashlene. You can't move. Where's the valves?
No, that's still doing finger guns.
Ah.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.